Listen, WWE2K26 is technically not even out to the public yet. It doesn't even come out till Friday. But if you paid $100 for the Triple H edition, you got 7-day early access to the game, along with some unlockables, which the unlockables are cool, but I wanted to pay the extra money because I want 7-day access to this game because I was so hyped for this game. And I don't talk a lot of video games, on Brandon's World. In the summer, occasionally, I'll talk some college football when the game comes out. I'll talk a little Madden when the game comes out. If you guys ever wanted a Brandon's World gaming channel or even just a Brandon's World Twitch, it's been an idea that I've been throwing around for years and I never quite launched it, but it's something that if you guys really want to support, I could get down with. You know, I thought WWE 2K20, obviously now 6 years ago, I didn't even buy it because I heard of the reviews were terrible. It was not ready to come out. It was a complete clunky game. It was a disaster. WWE then obviously rebuilt the engine with WWE 2K22, and it was more arcadey type. And they've been building on it year after year after year. They've been adding in new match types. This year we get the Inferno match. We get the dumpster match. We get the I Quit match. And we get the 3 stages of hell match, which is all matches that WWE has brought back over the last few years outside of the I Quit match, which they just did a couple years ago with Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles. Um, that they brought back on television as well. Um, and but today I'm mostly just going to talk about the gameplay because I have not gotten a chance to play my GM yet, though I've heard improvements to it. I've seen the improvements in Universe Mode. I have not played Universe Mode in years. I was ready to dive in and essentially take the modern WWE and book it the way I've seen fit, the way I've talked to you guys here in multiple times the last couple of weeks about long-term booking in WWE. I'm not as big of a career guy, my career guy. I'll definitely try it out. I thought, last year's storyline with NXT and Mutiny was cool, though, with all the other modes and all the other games I play, didn't have a lot of time to really dive into it. I've spent most of my WB2K playing days either in my GM or in the play now mode. I did get a quick chance to take a look at the showcase, which I've always thought since they brought back the showcase, in 2K22, I think they should personally go away with the showcase. My favorite mode ever in a WB2K game, well, I take that back, it's in my top three. Number one was the 2K14, The Undertaker Defeat the Streak and Defend the Streak modes. And I would say on top of that would be the 2019 AJ Styles $1 million Gauntlet. I've always loved when a game came out and they had this $1 million challenge, whether it was in MLB 2K to pitch a perfect game or in WWE to defeat all the opponents in the AJ Styles Gauntlet. So when they announced that you could play as CM Punk or you could play as AJ Lee in a 20-person gauntlet instead of completing the showcase, that is right up my alley because I just want the unlockables and I want to be able to do, um, you know, just what I want to do with the unlockables. I don't want to have to do specific objections where I have to pause the screen every second and do something specific to advance. It's just not my thing. It is pretty simple to complete as well. But it just feels tedious, if you will. So I like that. The only thing, to be honest with you, I really don't like about this game so far, and it is a little bit laggy. I don't know if you've heard on the Xbox Series S, which is what I play on, or the Xbox Series X. The game is laggy. In game, it lags. Offline, in the middle of the match, it may lag for a second or two. I think that's just stability fixes. I'm not that concerned about it. Again, this game is technically not even out yet. So I think it's just a bug, and I heard that it will be patched day one, and I do hope that is the case. Because if that is not the case, then my review is going to be a complete dumpster fire, and we're going to have a problem, 2K. And in showcase mode and in online, you cannot turn this off. There's a new feature where it's essentially a stamina reversal system. Now, in WWE2K16, they implemented what was called a reversal stock, where, depending on your overall, you had three, four, or five reversal stocks that you could use. And you had to use them strategically so you weren't spamming reversals over and over and over again. Um, and they implemented this system where instead of reversing with RT in the new games, 2K22 now through 2K26, to simplify the controls, you reverse with Y. And it has made reversing, pretty easy. Even on Legend, you can reverse for the most part. I think the stamina meter needs to be adjusted. I would use it if it wouldn't go down automatically. I'm playing on the arcade version. I want to have the ability to just run around for most of the match and not get tired until I take an abusive amount of damage. That's not the case. I mean, it feels like, after one or two reversals with this stamina bar, you can't reverse anymore. You're completely out of energy. It reminds me a lot of SVR 06 and '07. One of the reasons why I turned that feature off in both of those games. Speaking of SVR 06, they brought back the ability to do a handshake or a rush or, get the crowd energy up before a match, which is very much pre WWE nowadays. I really enjoy that. Um, you know, they brought back the ability for anybody to climb the barricade. And once you get up on the barricade, you can fight, which I think is really cool. The invisible walls being gone, I think, is the biggest addition to this game. The fact that I can drop somebody from a Hell in a Cell and they can crash through two stacking tables, I think is absolutely sick. You're going to have the ability to create just a bunch of chaotic extreme moments. I like the fact that we can adjust wrestlers, tights, give them new gear, new colors, etc., without using a superstar slot for cause, which was always, my nicks on the game. Is cause load a lot slower, and they sometimes bug out, and they are not the same as the actual wrestlers. So, there's just so much customization with cause that I don't particularly like using cause unless I have to. Um, there's just a lot of gameplay elements. You know, um, I am enjoying the Inferno match. I think it's really cool that you can go outside the ring and get weapons. They added new clown weapons. I love the thumbtacks reaction where you can pour thumbtacks on the mat and then you can hit your opponent with a move and they do react to being landed on the thumbtacks. They do react to landing on the steel steps. You can put somebody through the announce table without using your finisher, which has needed to be brought back for years. All that, I love about the new game. And there's a lot of positives to it. I think it's going to be a fun game to play. Again, it does remind me of a remastered SmackDown Here Comes the Pain in a way. I think the one thing that I would love to see brought back is a story mode. Even if it's create a story, they took out that feature when they went to the next gen consoles, and it's been the most requested feature, maybe outside of GM mode, that a WWE video game has ever had. And I would say bring back the story mode. Universe mode. You already have, the ability that they capture the microphones and things like that as superstars, and they do it in My Rise as well. I get it because My Rise is sort of their story, but it's everybody wants to use their guy and go to the island and the microtransactions and all that. It's sort of the way modern video games work. But I want to see the old school story mode, like we added the old SmackDown vs. Raw, which Worlds Collide, by the way, is in the game. The song, that is epic. Um, the commentary swears a lot more, and the commentary sounds so much more authentic. Michael Cole, Wade Barrett, Corey Graves, Booker T, they're all in the game on commentary instead of Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and Byron Saxon for 10 plus years. I do wish that you could change the commentary out, like we can do in Madden. You can't even do it in the NBA 2K. You either get Kevin Harlan or you get Brian Anderson. You don't get a choice. That's one thing that I think EA does right over 2K. What does choose the commentary teams? What does have a two-man booth? What does have a three-man booth? What does have a four-man booth? So there's some of those immersion things that I want back. the wrestlers, when they bleed and when they get beat up in a match, you can see welts and cuts all over their body, which started last year in 2K25, but they absolutely improved it this year in 2K26. It's basically 2K25, just better, more fluid improvements, and less invisible walls. You can fight in the crowd now without feeling stuck because there's nowhere to go. Again, you can break the L in a Silk Age door very easily. You can stack tables and set them on fire, which it feels like to me the stacked tables are very glitchy this year. Unless you throw, I want to throw somebody off a ladder and, throw them through two stacked tables like in real life. You can do that now. So, I would say right now I'd give the game an A minus. I would give it an 8.5 out of 10. Again, I think the stamina thing, if you play online or you're gonna play for the showcase, I think it's really annoying. I think that's the one feature I don't like. You know, if you're going to um play online, obviously I think you'll get used to it, but it's something that I think needs to be tuned. I do like that in the entranceway now you can get pyro or you can do the in-ring pyro at any time. I think there needs to be more options to that than just four generic options where two are taunts and one's a pyro. I think you should have the option to do different types of pyro that I'd like to see. So there's little things that they can build on. I played through all the match types. I quit match is very fun. There's a nice mini game that you go through, and the spots can get smaller as more damage. I think that's going to be a game mode that is really going to be played a lot. The dumpster match plays very similar to the casket or the ambulance match. Three Stages of Hell is my absolute favorite. The one thing I don't like about it is at the very end, your star rating is only the star rating of the last match. Like, I think Three Stages of Hell should have one unanimous star rating. If you get 5 stars in the first match, then that's it. It's a 5-star match. As someone that wants to try this year to get 5 stars on every single match type in the game, um, we'll see how feasible that is. Um, and then the Inferno match, I already mentioned it. I do like the ability where you can grapple and then you can hold either LT or L2 if you're on PlayStation and push the guy towards the flames. I like the fact that you're not limited to weapons, that you can go outside the ring, and when you hit the outside of the ring, they're showing your arm a little bit touch the flame. It's a modern day take on sort of the SVR 09 Inferno match. And again, it is slowly bringing back the modern day elements of SmackDown versus Raw, whether it's 2009, 2011, 2008, SVR, the original, 06, 07, and it is incorporating it into a modern Raw. So if you're just a fan of video games overall in general, I believe you will like this game. If you like the direction of 2K24, 25, 26, you will like this game. If you don't, then you will not like this game. And that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so. He was on the cover of a WWE video game for 2K, but obviously this game is all about the best in the world, CM Punk. Like that clip from the Brands World podcast? If so, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button. While you're down there hitting the subscribe button, make sure to also hit the notification bell so you never miss another upload. And make sure you check out all the other clips from the Brands World podcast right here on YouTube.